There's a short story about one of the dumber guys I've covered in a while who thought it was a genius idea to propose to his girlfriend and at the same time when he was doing the proposal to say, oh, by the way, I want to have an open marriage while we're married together. And to no surprise, she reacts accordingly. And this goes to show you that it isn't just the young women or women that bring this whole thing up, open relationships, open marriage. It's also some guys too. And I don't care if it's guys who do it or women who do it, same response. If a guy brings up the open relationship, open marriage thing, guess what? The odds are he's already hooking up with some other chick or he's talking to some girl planning the next move and he should be dumped immediately. No different. And if you stay with that guy, guess what? It's going to be miserable. And this girl here handles things right. And I'm doing this also, guys, to show you, just to mix things up a bit, to show you that it happens to the other side of things. Titled, Am I the a-hole for rejecting my boyfriend's proposal because he asked to be open? And a shout out to Todd for sending over this story. She says here, I'm 30 years old, and my boyfriend, a 31-year-old, took me to Edinburgh. It was a 10-year anniversary on our first date on Saturday, and when we met, we were both at Edinburgh University. So it seemed very romantic to go back to where it all started. I was anticipating something special as he booked us into the Caledonian and told me to pack something nice. And he was actually acting really nervous. It reminded me of how he'd been shy around me when we first met. Working up there to ask me out, I ended up asking him first. Okay, she's thinking this is going to be a great weekend. A lot of romance going on here. Well, she wasn't expecting this. I think he'd been planning to propose at the restaurant that we had reservations for, but instead he got down on one knee when we were up in Calton Hill. Smack! If you're going to propose, don't get down on one knee and be a bitch. God's sakes. He held open the ring box and said to me 5 words I'll never forget. Will you open marry me? Will you open marry me? I laughed initially because I was confused. When I asked him, come again? He repeated the same question. I asked him to explain and started feeling really shaky. Basically, he says he loves me and wants to affirm his commitment to me and give me the wedding that I deserve. But he also wants to open our relationship up and sleep with other women. And he didn't want me getting the wrong idea that I'm not enough for him and that he was looking to leave. He proposed and also proposed an open marriage at the same frickin' time. Okay, he's being time efficient here. Are you shitting me? He's lucky she didn't freaking do a left hook to his head when he was down the knees. Kaboom! Knocking his ass down and shoving haggis up his ass. What the fuck? So he thought if he combined the 2 proposals into one with the phrase, will you open marry me, that I'd understand and he wanted to marry me, but also that he wanted to sleep with other women, and that each one is not related to the other. He wants to be my husband. He also wants to sleep with other women. Oh, for God's sakes. Newsflash, he's probably been cheating on you the entire time. And another newsflash, I guarantee you there's a chick who he has been hooking up with, or at least plans to hook up, whatever. You can't marry this jackass. And yes, he is a jackass. I started crying a bit, which made him panic, but I very rarely cry. Okay, her reacting like this and crying is warranted here. I can understand why she's upset. It was not a quick walk back to our hotel room. He kept saying things to me, but I think I've gone into shock. I can't remember anything he was saying. Eventually, when we were back in the room, he was cracking nervous jokes and said, you know, you never gave me an answer. Dude, she was crying, and her silence, I think, told you everything you need to know, you fucking idiot. I can understand her being deeply upset. They've been together 10 years, since college. I'm going to benefit of the doubt, say that she's been a good girlfriend to him. I stopped crying at this point. I just looked at him and told him no. So he weirdly started prattling on about how that was fine and asking me if I thought about what time of year I'd like to get married. I just stared at him. This guy's fucking clueless. Well, he kept going. He was taking the attitude that it was a no to having an open marriage. So we just would have a monogamous marriage, but that was no problem at all, according to him, if that's what I wanted. There is no way, after him asking for the open marriage, that he's going to be like, oh, okay, no problem, and not continue on with what he's been doing here. He wants permission to cheat. I would have liked this story. She gave him a left hook, or at least a hook, punch, or a smack, and that was the end of it. But it is what it is. I asked him to leave me for a bit because I needed to lie down, to go have a drink somewhere so I could rest up and get ready. He kept telling me how much he loved me, but eventually he did leave. Yeah, I can tell how much he loves her with the whole open marriage question. We hadn't come with separate suitcases, so I just put my smalls and a clean blouse into my purse. We both had personal bank accounts separate from the joint one, and I had my card. I left. I was able to book into a travel lodge, which is where I've been staying since. That sucks. They're both from England, by the way, London, actually. At some point, he came back to the hotel and realized I wasn't there, so started ringing and ringing. I texted him I was fine, but I needed some space. He's been texting me a lot, but I've been ignoring it. I've not done any daft theatrics. People know I'm okay. A lot want to know what's happening. I just said I don't want to talk about it for now, but I'm fine. The only person I've told him is my line manager, who let me have the week off on short notice, but I didn't discuss it, just told. Well, obviously she's ending with this guy, and in this situation, it's quite warranted that she controls the narrative on the basis that this is a truthful story. He asked for an open marriage while he proposed. She has good reason to tell him to take a hike. Obviously, friends and family are going to want to know why, so she needs to be truthful about that. As in, if the situation was opposite, I'd be telling the guy to control the narrative. He extended his stay somewhere in town, but he has headed home to London now, and he is still texting me. There's apologies. He says he knows he messed up, and he wants to make it up to me. He says he knows I'm reading the messages. This guy's doing the classic guy thing. He fucks up royally and thinks bombarding her with texts and phone calls and all that's going to fix it. He's not a violent man. I don't feel in danger. I just don't think I can go back to the flat. I do not want an open marriage. Then don't have an open marriage. In fact, you shouldn't have a marriage to this guy at all, honey. I don't want to marry him at all. I don't want to see him again. My no was a no to everything. He wants me to forget the weekend happened and just go back to how things were, but the thought of him makes my skin crawl. You don't have to go back to him. As if the situation was reversed, I tell the guy not to go back to the woman. Okay? That's a deal breaker. End of story. Move on. But also, I don't have enough money to get my own place in London. I thought about transferring offices, but I've been blowing through my money at a rate of knots with this hotel room. I don't know that I'd be able to cover a deposit and the upfront rent, handle trains back and forth, and deal with the move and start my life over. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole. The only way you're the a-hole, lady, is if you made this shit up. I don't want to talk about this with anyone. I know in real life, it feels like a joke. My mother died a few years ago, and she was the only person I feel comfortable discussing it with. Up until now, I thought we were happy. This has completely blindsided me. Is it reasonable to end a 10-year relationship over this? Yes, it's totally reasonable. But you can see here, guys, if we're fair here, she's invested 10 years of her life with this joker. 10 years! So you can see why she's like, I invested 10 years. No, it's over. He says he's sorry and he loves me. What am I supposed to do? Couples therapy? Relate? Or it starts at £55 a session and we can't afford that and I don't know and I want to try. Now before I go into some comments here, I just got to say this. Yeah, the situation sucks. And again, this is on the basis as being truthful. It's interesting covering this because it's usually the women that ask for the open marriages, but sometimes the guys do this. Even though she's put 10 years in with this guy, he doesn't love her because he wants to hook up with other chicks. That ain't cool. If they started their relationship being open and all that, that'd be a different conversation. But she was blindsided by this. And the thing is, guys, is that life is short. Does she really want to be with somebody like this? But if he's, in spite of how he's acting, like the bad boy type, well, maybe, she's drawn to assholes. I don't know. But you can't be with somebody like this. Obviously, he's been cheating or plans to, wants permission for it, and that's it. She's going to be miserable. So if she stays with this guy and goes on and marries him after this, then you can't feel bad for her because she saw it was coming. But hopefully she has the good sense to get rid of him. Now, a few questions here, or comments. Listen to this question somebody asked her in her response. One guy says here, have you had discussions about monogamy before? Does he understand how important this is to you? And her response, listen to this, is this. He joked about having a threesome at his 30th birthday present last year. Although I guess he wasn't joking now in retrospect. I would have hoped my reaction to that quote-unquote joke would have communicated my feelings if he was being serious. But no, he never asked me about this sort of thing. So there you go. there's usually signs. And right there, joking about a threesome for his 30th birthday. Obviously, things are in his mind. Another question. And by the way, the whole comment section is full of people, men and women, supporting her. This is from a guy. He says, my girl brought up an open relationship, but only on the way to the doctor to check for an STD. Then I found out she was rotating 4 different guys, working on 2 others, and posting pictures and videos online publicly. The open relationship line is almost an immediate huge red flag unless you and your partner are incredibly patient and trusting with one another, which no one is these days. And one more comment. This guy says, this made my skin crawl. And I'm a man with no proposals on record. You're not the OR or the a-hole at all. Leaving him and the entire relationship behind is the healthy thing to do when you're not into open relationships. He may say he's sorry, but he's only sorry you said no. Had you said yes, he'd be deep in some other woman's vagina by now, with a blank check to do so as many times as he wanted to because he does want it. I'm only sorry for you that you wasted 10 years of your best years with this man. You deserve better. If she's been a good girlfriend him this whole time and taking care of herself and all these other things, never cheated, none of that crap, no bullshit, and he's pulling this on her, I can generally feel bad for her. But she has a choice to make. She can either get back with him and guarantee it's going to be a disaster, or kick him to the curb. And yeah, it's tough. She's like 30 years old. So we know, and she knows darn well it's a lot harder now she's 30, but better to be alone with her British cat and her I don't know, not box wine in London, whatever they drink in London that's equivalent to box wine in America, than to marry some jackass like that. So I do wish her the best. But guys, this happens on both sides.